Good afternoon, YouTube, and welcome to the second to last fantasy forecast for the regular NBA season, Tuesday, April 12th, 2016. Didn't really come out there right, did it? Alright, we're just going to go into optimals today. I think you guys all know we're in the really crazy days now. You don't know who's sitting, you don't know who's playing. I'm going to show you the app RotoQL lighter, and it's literally got Durant and it's got Westbrook and Durant, and I don't know what you would do about that. And honestly, looking at this lineup right here, you can tell with Aldridge and with DeRozan, I mean, who knows what's going to happen there too. This is actually my optimal, but I'll go into my choices in a moment. Let's go ahead and start reviewing just from the top right on down. And here's Roto Grinders. Roto Grinders has for us today Ish Smith and Jerian Grant in the point guard positions. They're projecting Smith at 32. They're projecting Grant at 22. They have KCP and Redick in the shot guard. KCP's projected at 24. Redick's projected at 22. We got Leonard and George in the small forward. Leonard is projecting at 41. George is projecting at 38. You got Blake Griffin and you got Zebo in the power forward. Blake's projecting at 39 and Zebo's projecting at 33. And you got Andre Drummond for center and he's projecting at 37. The entire lineup projects at 289 and leaves 300 on the table. Their very best value that they show is Grant in the point guards for 4,200. They're projecting the 22 minutes. It's a little above 5 times value. Okay. And that's Roto Grinders. I told you guys today's going to look ugly. Here's Roto Wire. I liked this one a bit more. But it's still dependent on things, and that's your big problem. Like Lowry. Lowry can easily sit today, guys. I mean, you're going to have to be watching the last minute news carefully, and if he does, be ready to swap. Lowry or DeRozan could sit. Now, it's possible they play as hard as they possibly can because it's technically still possible that I think they can get the first seed in the East and over the Cleveland, and that would really be helpful to them. But that's going to require Cleveland losing 2 games as well. And I'm not sure when Cleveland plays today, but you can guarantee if they play later that at least for this first game, you should see Lowry and you should see DeRozan both come out and try to play. And that's just my hunch that they're going to go for the first seed after seeing the rankings this morning and where stuff is going. And this isn't even my lineup. This is RotoWire. Okay, so we got Lowry and we got Jackson. Lowry's projecting at 34 points, 31 minutes. Jackson is projecting at 30 points, 32 minutes. At the shot guard, we got Wade and Stevenson. Wade is projecting at 28 points and 28 minutes. Stevenson is projecting at 24 points with 32 minutes. At the small forward position, we got Leonard and Barnes. Leonard is projecting at 38 points on 34 minutes. Barnes is projecting at 27 points on 37 minutes. It's kind of nice. You got Aldridge and Derek Williams. Aldridge is projecting at 37 on 33 minutes. And Williams is projecting at 23 points on 30 minutes for your power forwards. And for center, they have JV. They're projecting him at 28 points on 27 minutes. Their whole lineup projects only at a 268 today, guys. And honestly, I think that will be about the cash line score. I don't think this is a score that's going to really take home the bacon, that's for sure. But, you know, I was looking for cash here. So let's move on. That was RotoWire for you. Their best value on the board, by the way, let me go back and see. They don't even have him in the lineup, but they have Grant at the best value, as they're showing him at a 4,200 salary with a 23-point projection. And he's not even in their lineup, which is funny to me. And then they have Afflo as well. You know, they're projecting him at 20 points on a 3,900 salary, and both at 34 minutes. Both of those look good to me on a good day like today. I'd be looking at Grant and Afflo if those are possibly correct. They play for the Knicks, so you're looking at that Melo news. Maybe they'll finally let Melo sit a little. I don't know. All right, moving on. That was RotoWire. This is Daily Fantasy Cafe. They're projecting at 284. We've got Tony Parker and Lowry in the point guard. Parker's projecting at 24 and Lowry's projecting at 38. We've got Wade and KCP in the shot guard. Wade is projecting at 32 and KCP is projecting at 24. We got Joe Johnson and Leonard in the small forward. Johnson's projecting at 21 and Kwame's projecting at 40. We have Harris and Aldridge in the power forward. They're taking the same bet that Pop doesn't rest his guys at home, and I'm hoping he doesn't either. They're projecting Leonard, I said Leonard already. They're projecting Harris at 31 and they're projecting Aldridge at 35. And for center, they have Drummond, and he's being projected at 38. Actually, 37.5. It's .51. I tend to round up or down for you guys, but that's so close to the half part. 37.5. All right. And that was Daily Fantasy Cafe with a whole score of 284. Okay, this is Fantasy Pros, and we've got Kyle Lowry and Ish Smith here. Lowry is projecting at 38 points, at 38.49. I'll do it the other way, 38.5. And Ish is projecting at 33. The Athalo is projecting at 21 points, 20.51. And Stevenson's projecting at 28 points for shot guard. For small forward, we have George and Anthony. George is projecting at 39, and Carmelo projecting at 38. Power forwards, we have Noel and Grant. Noel is projecting at 28. Grant's projecting at 21. And at center, we have Drummond, and Drummond's projecting at 39 for them, which gives this lineup a total of 285. Okay, moving on. And this one's already got Westbrook sitting on the top. And the reason why I left this one in, this is Roto QL, guys. It's the one you guys all like. So, and I didn't really have a way to modify the exposures or anything. Normally what I would have done is I would have put a salary restriction and said don't get anyone over 10,000 because they got Durant in there too. And if I put a salary restriction on no one over 10,000 allowed, it would have knocked this down. Guys, I'm going to do a little modification here. We know this lineup is not going to win. We just know it. I mean, because look at it. I'm pulling this out just a touch, and we're going to do a fast mod, just, you know, some fun here, because it's Roto QL. I'll tell you what their lineups were, and there were projections, and then we'll play. All right, real fast, because we got to get this video up, too. Westbrook was projected at 47.5. He's 0 now. The time is going to get picked up by Enes Kanter down in the center, and you know, a couple other guys. I mean, you got to be looking at what the hell is Dion Waiters jacking up shots left and right. Those two for sure, and they'll be in my optimal. But so they have, and then you have Reggie Jackson projecting at 36, and I loved him today. You have Sasha Vujacic projecting at 26, and Jamal Crawford projecting at 32. KD, he was projecting at 48. He's a 0 now. And they still have the best one besides Leonard. They're projecting him at 42.5. So that kind of hurts because I have Leonard already. I don't think he's going to rest him at home. I'm hoping they don't get popped. He's got Grant and West in there. I don't know if I'd have West today. So much is not necessary anymore. Grant's projected at 28 points and West projecting at 23.5. And Cole Aldridge projecting at 26.2, which is good value. But today on center, you're going to want Enes Kanter now, no question. And we have the money for it since these two guys died. So let's do that real fast before we get to my ideal. Let's edit out here. We know both these guys are gone. We'll just minus them. And we'll minus that because there's nothing else to do. It's just done. Right? Here, I know we have an upgrade. Now, we can upgrade quite a bit if we need to. We have the money now, obviously, but let's just go to Kanter since he had a kick-ass game before with all those guys sitting and kind of hope on it and see if there's any way that we can really spend the money. We can get Paul George today. I heard a couple of the projections come in around 38, 39 for him, which is good for raw dollars. Is there anything in raw dollars? If Paul plays, that's the big if. I mean, and it's a late game. You're probably not going to know until later, and I don't think they have a reason to. I think they're locked in their seed. Now, Toronto, like I said before, might have a reason to play against those lowly Sixers. They might try to get the top seed against Cleveland. So, and I'm not sure when Cleveland is playing. If they're not playing today, then that's beautiful because that just gives them all the more reason to play today. Is Cleveland in the list today? No, they're not. Oh wait, what do the standings say? Are they locked in? They might be locked in. I'll have to look in that more carefully. You know, if Lowry can rest too, guys, to be quite honest. I'm thinking there's a possibility they can get the top seed, but after last night, if I'm running the scores through my head, I could be wrong. So much happened last night, too. Let's just avoid him, too. I mean, you can go to Ish Smith. I mean, really, it's where people have been dropping. You can go to... And you have so much money left on the table. This is not even funny. We can do better than Sasha and these guys. It can be spent there. Well, we could say that Lowry and DeRozan play. We could easily do that. Otherwise, I'd be taking D. Wade tonight. At least he'll get his minutes. I mean, you got D. Wade. I like Jackson tonight. I really do. I like Ish as well. Let's just say you just do D. Wade. What else can you do with the shot guard here? If Toronto happens to play DeRozan against those Sixers, that could be a way to correct their lineup and still keep some portions of it. Like, you know, I left the David West, you know. I try not to modify him as much as I have to, but I mean, I had to pull 2 people out of this to make this work. There was no way. We'll save this. It's got 0 remaining. It seems to take advantage of the best players. And so here's an alternate based off RotoQL lineup. Best I could do, you know, with what I had after what they were given. So whoa, wow. Okay, I'm going to do this by hand just to make sure that this gets done for a second here. Refocus real fast, guys, because we're almost done with the show. Okay, so refocused there. You can see everything. You've got Ish Smith and Reggie Jackson. What the heck? You dumbasses. Ish Smith and Reggie Jackson, Dwayne Wade and DeRozan for the shot guards, Paul George and Kwame Leonard for small forward, Jeremiah Grant and David West for power forward, and Enes Kanter for center. And the original projection was 310. Take out Westbrook, take out Durant with their, and it was 210 plus whatever I've added to, and hopefully it's enough to cash. Okay, now let's get to my optimal lineup, guys, for today. My optimal lineup might look similar. I have Ish Smith and Jackson. Ish has been playing. Philly has nothing to play for anymore, but he's been getting his minutes. He's attacking the rim. He's going at it. He's having fun. And he's going to have fun today, especially if they decide to actually play DeRozan and they have something to go for. So Ish is going to enjoy himself. If he doesn't, it makes the story even sweeter. Same with Reggie Jackson. It's not a day to spend up when these guys can get all candidates to be popped, except I just don't think the people will be popped at home specifically for San Antonio. It's just almost everyone else in the league is a pop candidate. So, which happened, and that's why we have Waiters in there. I expect Waiters and Canters to get the majority of scoring and points and like just ball handling out of the absence of Westbrook and Durant. So, Waiters and Cantor are must plays for me tonight. They're in there, and finish out with DeRozan again because I can afford him against those Sixers. I like Barnes tonight against the Clippers. He's just been all over the place. I mean, Memphis is playing for playoff spot time, but he's getting his minutes. I mean, he still have to run, and I just like him there tonight. Look at his score from yesterday. I think he hit 8 times value or something. The guy is just really on fire for some reason. And same with your Leonard Aldridge stack. I didn't know where else to spend the money, and I don't think that they'll get popped at home. I think they're probably going to play less minutes, but I think it's a good way for you to spend the money against a pretty weak OKC team now. I mean, they'll probably be up by 15 at halftime, which is fortunate. San Antonio plays slow, and they'll probably sit even again the first couple minutes of the second half. But if they come out again, and it's only a 12-point lead or something, they might have to take it to them, and you could get most of your work out of you could get a 32 minutes out of Leonard and Aldridge, and that would be very good. I mean, against a weakened OKC team, which wasn't very defensive anyways, they're more offensive, both of those could pay off quite well. I like having the money to do it. And then Noel, like I said, the Sixers just have nothing to play for now except pride, and they're running it all out. So it should look good. And that's pretty much where you stand. Okay, so that was my optimal lineup, guys, for today. Ish Smith, Reggie Jackson, Dion Waiters, and DeRozan for shot guard, Barnes and Leonard for small forward, Noel and Aldridge for power forward, and Cantor for center. And I'll back up and I'll show you guys that one I just created last second as well. I suspect that one will be of some interest to some people. It's the Ish Smith, Reggie Jackson. Again, you've got Wade. You've got DeRozan, Paul George and Leonard, Jeremiah Grant, David West, and Enes Kanter. Alright guys, fantasy forecast for today is only a 5-game slate. It's short. I hope you guys, praying to God, you guys are betting light with how bad the situation is with the last minute pulls and everything else. GPPs and everything else, you should be doing cash mainly, and even then at much smaller amounts than what you would normally do during the season. We have one more huge 14-game slate tomorrow, guys, and we're off to the playoffs and have a few days off. I'll be trying to put out MLB videos to you guys in the meantime for that, if you're interested. Otherwise, enjoy the second to last fantasy forecast, and I ask you guys to please go on out there, besides subscribing to me and, following me on Twitter at MikeMiller78 for the last minute lineup changes so that you can try to cash that way, to go on out there and go win some money.